All right, I'm told I have a few minutes to the clock, and this is one of the topics that Kenyans have been discussing, and I'd like both of you to weigh in, and I'll start with Harvey. Yesterday at the Madaraka Day celebrations, we saw what happened, and the bad effect of this is that Kenyans, instead of focusing on the very noble speech that was made by the president, the very focused speech that was outward looking into 2018 if Jubilee takes, retains power and goes into the second 5 of 10, they are likely to achieve for this country. And everyone you look at analysts, they think the second term of the Jubilee government will be better than the first, because then they're not beholden to anyone. They don't need to prove a point. So even the things that have been letting go and sweep under the carpet, they're likely to handle them, like corruption, for example. Yesterday, the president decided, and no one specifically mentioned or acknowledged the opposition. One, protocolarly, was there an issue? And two, was it just right to ignore this national leader in a national function?
Well, with tremendous respect, I must refer to this behavior as boisterous. Madaraka Day is a constitutional national holiday. And for whatever reason, if you looked at the manner in which the entire occasion was handled, in fact, most of the speakers spoke in a language, well, I have the benefit of speaking and understanding fluent Kikuyu, so I don't have a problem. But most of the speakers there communicated in a language that many people did not understand. Look, there is diversity of culture in our communities, which is appreciated. The entertainment, the drama that was there on account of diversity is okay. But I think when a leader, an elected or appointed leader, mounts the podium, he must of necessity speak in the national language. We saw the governor speaking in a tongue that many people did not understand. I think there's either a big failure of coordination, or the magnitude of arrogance has grown so high that there is total disregard for the values of the Constitution. And I think, look at it from this perspective. What was the propriety of not giving Raila Odinga audience? And you see, even when the matter of the presidential election landed in the Supreme Court, certain individuals who were talking very badly were told, look, Raila has a constituency. So even when you address this issue, bear in mind that fact. And I think Raila's intention was noble. I don't think he will have scuttled that event in the manner that Joho ordinarily interferes with the presidential functions in Mombasa. So to that extent, there is a perceived notion that the Jubilee administration is quite certain of clinching power. They do not need to do anything good for as long as they get power. That is it. And I think it is a degeneration of the qualities that the Kenyan democracy was built upon. Okay. You know, in the early days, you know, most of us treated national holidays with a lot of respect. You could take your radio and put it on your shoulders and listen to the songs by Kakai Kilonzo and listen to the recording of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta speak with a lot of national authority and admiration. I do not think there's anybody who can speak of the event yesterday in the manner that will have spoken of national holidays during Kenyatta's or Moi's time. I think it's a high time that those in power looked at the wider interest of the nation, as opposed to the bickering that has now dominated the affairs between the opposition and the government.
All right. Protocolarly, when you look at protocol, where was the place of the opposition leader?
Well, the Constitution recognizes the position of the majority in leadership. So to speak, if President Uhuru Kenyatta is in charge of the winning team in the contest for elective office, then by necessity, Right Honorable Raila Odinga is supposed to sit on the other side. And we've seen he's been invited many times before. And I think, look, truth be said, I do not think it was the intention of the president to preclude Raila from the function. Maybe the manner in which the entire program was arranged had not made provision for that.
Maybe the first question would be, was he aware that Raila Odinga was going to attend that function? And the adage, the majority will have their way, but the minority must have their say in any forum, right?
Yeah, I think he must have known. The intelligence must have told him that. I saw Raila seated next to...
Right behind Rachel Ruto.
Yeah, and on the side of Johnston Kavuludi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, protocol must have programmed him to sit there.
And the seat must have been marked. So they were aware in a nutshell.
They were aware in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I think the people who are in charge of the president's diary need to allow him to be a national leader.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think... what do you think of this scenario? Just look at it. I know you watched it.
Yes, I think, Ken, really, the way we are handling our politics is also not right. It's always confrontational, it's toxic. We are not separating the issues from the emotions of things. So I think sometimes both sides of the divide are playing to these emotions. That situations like yesterday need not to happen in a national public holiday.
What do you think as an individual, as a leader now?
I think it is wrong.
It was wrong?
It is wrong. I think we have leaders. The reason why we have competition is to get better leaders. So when you are competing and there is a fair competition and you have won, you should be magnanimous enough to be able to allow the others who competed with you, who have also the opportunity to share the podium with you.
Okay.
I think that magnanimity needs to come from the head of state.
Okay. And it's happened before.
Yes.
Planned or unplanned,
yes.
Spontaneous. I have covered a lot of presidential functions where the opposition leader is. And an acknowledgement must suffice at any one point. If the president is not going to allow him to speak, he'll acknowledge my brother and Ndugu Raila ako hapa. You know, it's always happened. So what may have occasioned yesterday? Is it the political climate in the country? Is it a decision? This was the president's stronghold, you know, so it was unnecessary to have any. Was it diversionary to have Raila Odinga? Because we saw the kind of reception that he also got when he arrived. There was cheers from the crowd.
I think personally, I mean, I've watched Raila all along, and he behaves well in this kind of forum.
National function, yes.
And I don't think, I could say the benefit of doubt for the president is that maybe there was an oversight.
Okay.
That is what I would say. But as you said in the past, he has been given an occasion to say hi to Kenyans, and he's carried himself with dignity in these occasions. I think yesterday there could be a slip. Okay. I don't think it was intentional.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you the final chances just to say bye. Okay. And the people of Isiolo, and then I'll conclude with the advocate here.
Okay, thank you. I would like to say that I thank the people of Isiolo South for nominating me as the candidate for Jubilee, MP for Isiolo South. I wish them well during the holy month of Ramadan, and I also wish to request that come August 8th, I request for their vote again, and that they elect me as their MP for Isiolo South, and I assure them that I will serve them with energy, with diligence, and with all honesty.
And I wanted that call of peace, because we really need peace in this election, for example.
I pray for peace. I think there is a misconception also in this context of politics, that politics is what drives this. I don't really buy this. Isiolo South has a real challenge in security, and it requires all to work together to solve the problem. It's not enough to say it is because now we are coming to election. This is an entrenched problem. It requires a proper rethinking of how we do security in this area. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a conclude with us, conclude this for us in terms of our systems and how we ought to move forward if we have to achieve what we set out for in the beginning.
I think Kenyans are traditionally oriented to have their political and administrative affairs done in a particular way, almost in very, so to speak, traditional settings. But having embraced democracy and having embraced technology, I think it is a high time that the Kenyan nation must ascribe to the values that come with the development in democracy. We need to have systems that work. We do not need to always rely upon a parallel system, because this parallel culture, it's likely to disintegrate the fabric of the Kenyan society. And as we go towards the election, I think it will be a clarion call on the part of the IEBC and those who facilitate the functions of the IEBC to ensure that the election is conducted in a credible, accurate, free and fair manner, so that the systems work. The manner in which the Constitution was designed was so efficient that even if you were to have a madman run the government, it will not disintegrate.
Systems will still work.
Yeah, the systems will work. And we should strive towards ensuring that.